Greetings 205 students. This week I'm going to start with a little bit of a PowerPoint to get us into week 6. So this is the Introduction to Research PowerPoint. I will also put it up on Module 6 underneath this video in case you want to go back and look at this. First, I want to give some thanks to everyone who gave feedback on the mid-semester survey. This was a no credit survey where I just asked you all for feedback about how the class is going. Obviously it wasn't anonymous, so if you didn't feel like putting feedback on there, that's super fine. But from the responses, I will make 2 changes. First, many people said that they wanted to engage with each other more, which is great. I will make a new discussion post where you can submit anything you want, from research to pictures to questions that have to do with you and the class. Don't be shy, just share whatever comes to mind. I don't really intend for it to be a place that you have long, deep conversations and you have to be brilliant. I think of it as a place where you guys can bring up anything that comes to mind in your lives that reminds you of class. I'll start it out and I'll make a couple posts, but really it's just to kind of give people a space to try out connecting with one another. I agree that the online format is strange and new, and so I too want to try out how I can connect to you guys more. The second change I will make is in regards to quizzes and discussion posts. It's not a big change, but I heard the feedback about the confusion that happens between quizzes and discussion posts, and I agree that sometimes they feel the same. From here on, I'll be making quizzes mostly about the content of the week, videos, readings, stuff like that, with little to no questions that ask for your response or opinion. The discussion posts, on the other hand, are going to be the place for a response, for your opinion, for your yes, I like, no, I don't like kind of answers. And I will ask for everyone to respond to the anchor question. Don't worry, the anchor question will still be broad enough for everyone to find something to write on, but I hope that it distinguishes between the 2 assignments a bit more. So for example, last week's quiz, quiz 5, focused more on the content of the Foster article rather than reactions and opinions. And I tried to give you guys specific feedback on your different answers to the different questions. I hope you also realized that the quiz from week 5 is also a sample, it's a breakdown of how you are asked to write the annotations for your annotated bibliography. Please see the Guide to Academic Research for more details. We will be working on that this week, but just so you know, the feedback I gave you on the quiz was specific and reflected in the grades for each question because I want you to be prepared moving forward. Okay, so let's get into the idea of research a little bit. Welcome to research. So I have to tell you, it's not a secret, but it's very exciting, is that yesterday, Saturday night, I finally finished my dissertation. I edited it, it was polished, it was clean, it was a PDF, and I uploaded it onto my university, Miami University of Ohio. I uploaded it onto their website, and it's done. The dissertation is a long research document, and it took me 6 years to write it. So when I say that research takes time and effort, I know what I'm talking about. As you can see from the 2 pictures here on the screen, on the left are just some of the books that I have piled next to my desk that I used over and over and over again in my work. On the right is a picture of just the top of my dissertation printed out. It's a nice, thick, substantial 131 pages. So I was very happy to have it finalized and done. So research is hard, but I'm going to do my best to break it down for you. I cannot make it feel easy and wonderful, but my hope is that you know that it's a work in progress, and so you try every step along the way and do the best you can. So a few reminders as we get into research. Please read all the directions carefully as listed in the Inquiry 2 assignment sheet and the Guide to Academic Research. Both of these contain specific elements that I'm looking for in this research paper. So please read them carefully. If you're confused at any moment about what I'm asking for, contact me as soon as possible. Number 2, use the City College Library database for scholarly articles. I am asking for you to have 2 scholarly articles cited in your research paper. Scholarly articles are written by people like myself who get doctorates in a certain field, in a certain topic. And this research is valuable because those people, like myself, spend long years of their life researching the same topic. For example, my research topic for my dissertation were representations of dancing Latina bodies. I know a lot about history, I know a lot about dance history, and I know a lot about literature and Latinx literature. So those are my areas of specialty, and it took me years to gain the breadth of knowledge to write a dissertation and to write an article. So please use the Scholarly databases. You pay for these databases in your tuition. We were lucky enough to have our class tutor Alex make a video about how and where to access these. Please see that in Module 6, it's 6.2. Please watch that video for more details. Also, Tuesday's Zoom meeting, that's from 12 to 1. I will be going over how to get into the databases as well there too if you're confused and want extra help. Third reminder, do not Google for every source. It will not always give you a relevant or credible source. Google's a fun place to start. We all do it, but it should not be the only place that you're getting information from, including for your news sources. Do Google how to find credible research or how-to videos. Use YouTube to find the how-tos of research. That is super fine. Number 4, vary up your search terms. Write out a list. One of the key aspects of research is having enough different ideas to plug in. So let's say your topic is wearing masks during COVID. You can put in mask wearing, you can put in pandemic, you can put in COVID, you can put in coronavirus. You know, as you can kind of hear me brainstorm, you can put in all sorts of ways to get into your topic, personal liberties, stuff like that. That's going to get you to a variety of sources for your research paper. Keep a list of them, make sure you're plugging lots of them into different databases, into Google, etc., etc. My one piece of advice is to use Wikipedia as a starting point. It is not a source that you can count as one of your main sources for the research paper. However, I use Wikipedia as just a quick start to something. So if I hear of an event or a person or something that I've never heard of, sometimes I do use Wikipedia as just a starting point to figure out what time did they live in, what other connections did they make, where did they grow up, where did they go to school, what's the context surrounding this, and then I take those ideas and plug those ideas into databases. So I'm not saying don't ever use Wikipedia, but I am saying it cannot be one of your sources. Lastly, ask for help now. Tomorrow is Monday. Maybe today is Monday when you're watching this. Make an appointment. Challenge yourself. I'm going to write Miss Oriole an email right now, or I'm going to reach out to Alex, or I'm going to see if any tutor is available at the English Center. It doesn't have to be Alex to have help with this. You can go to a tutor at any point in the writing process to help understand the assignment sheet, for help researching, for help brainstorming, as well as for help on drafts of the annotated bibliography, proposal, or research paper. So keep in mind, scheduling in help now is going to help you out later. Now what? First, look at my feedback on your topic and audience selection that's due. I'm making those a priority to get you timely feedback. I will try to be as specific as possible and helpful as possible. Number 2, start researching. Don't wait for my feedback. If you have an idea, go for it. Set aside at least 30-minute blocks if you can to find sources. Then skim the sources before deciding if they will work. Not every source you find is actually a source that you will want to quote from. Once you know you have a good source, write out a short summary, 4 sentences, and I will count the sentences. Then go back and add on to the rhetorical observations and contribution ideas. Again, these are the instructions as written out in the Guide to Academic Research on page 5. So as you start to do the research, take time to break it down little by little. This is not something that will feel very good to do all at once. Lastly, let's look at what's due this week on Module 6. So I'm going to flip screens here. So Module 6 doesn't seem very long. mainly because a lot of the work is work that you're going to be needing to do on your own, which is the research. You're going to see my video pop up here in a second. There's the video from Alex. Here's me telling you to read issue 6 or chapter 6 of Understanding Rhetoric. It will help you with research. Here you will see the annotated bibliography and proposal samples. Please read these carefully. They're meant to be a guide. There are also examples in the Guide to Academic Research. In the samples of the annotated bib and the proposal, you'll see that I comment on and tell you exactly what's happening in these sources or in these documents that I'm asking you to create. For instance, here's the citation and here's the annotation, and here's the breakdown of the annotation between the summary, rhetorical observations, and contributions to your argument. I give similar advice in the proposal. So again, this is in 6.4 where there are samples of the annotated bib and the proposal. Then you will have a quick quiz, a discussion post with an anchor question, and then by July 27th, which will be a week from Monday, you will submit your annotated bib and your proposal. So there are many due dates coming up this week with very little small pieces that I can put up. Most of your work this week is going to be researching on your own time. Lastly, I just want to say that research should be really fun. It's kind of like a party. You are going to invite your favorite friends, i.e. your sources, to your table to have a dinner party. And the research that you bring together does not have to be research that agrees with you in all ways. The research is meant to bring interesting and fun people to your party, even people that you disagree with. So have fun, be curious, poke around, feel like you're inviting the best people to your party, because once you start to write the paper is when you will start to really want to talk and engage with their ideas. If you are having a really positive or a really negative reaction to a source that you're reading, that might be a good reason to bring it into your party. Again, I hope this video just gives you a start to the week and start to research. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.